worked out in the living room. I thought it was really enjoyable actually to work out and then go into studying because I felt way better about myself physically. And I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll go into it better mentally. I think I was more energized studying after working out. I did this like Pomodoro technique, is that the Swiss cheese method?
Could you tell us a little
Yeah,
bit about this method?
I think it was very important, like to not study where you eat, where you sleep. It's very important because you can get distracted so easily. I think distraction was probably my hardest thing to overcome during this study period. And then I think the geotech um, for the Genie Prep was very helpful. It seems like so much. It seemed easier for me, following you. I do have to fly to take the test. Unfortunately, I flew out the same day. I flew out a few hours after my test too, and I was smiling on the plane. I thought I did it.
Rommel, when did you graduate college and what was your major?
I graduated in 2017 spring. I had my degree was in civil engineering. I got my bachelor's, and I think I went to school about 5 years. So I graduated high school in 2012.
Okay. And which FE exam did you take?
I just took the FE Civil.
FE Civil.
Mhm.
Why did you decide to take the FE exam?
It was pretty much like a prereq to get my PE. It was something that I needed for my job as well. So I started working in 2017, and it was something that I knew I was going to need to get my PE anyway. So that was my main reason of doing the FE Civil.
Did you start studying for the FE exam in 2017?
I didn't. I was pretty much off and on. I didn't have like a program like yours. I had like these FE books that I got from college, but I never really took them seriously. Maybe until 2021, but then I took another break. So it was really up and down, I think, for my studying.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
we talked about this before we started this interview. You're enrolled in our courses in 2020 or in 2021, I think.
21, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
2021 and like March 2021. Now I remember exactly.
Yeah.
And then you took the FE exam 2024.
Yes.
Why so long? Why did it take you so long to study for it and take it?
I think I think I even scheduled it in 2021. I think at one point I was I don't know, I might have been anxious or I was probably
Mm.
even afraid of taking it. I think I just I wasn't I didn't feel like I was prepared enough to take it at that time, and then I think life got in the way, but it took 2 years for me to get back to even starting it. It was more of like probably the fear of taking the exam, and then not really the studying because I kind of enjoyed the studying after I got further into the program. It was something that yeah, I did enjoy, and then I kind of had a routine. You did say to make a routine at one point,
Yeah.
and I did stick to that routine, so it did help.
Got you. So when you started studying for it the second time around, were you anxious? Were you afraid to fail it? How did you overcome that?
Um, I think I started really early in the morning to study. I think I don't really like to let things linger at night. What I did, I think I took quite a few. I did this like Pomodoro technique. It was
Mhm.
like you study for 25 minutes, you take a 5 minute break, and then I pretty much changed those intervals. So I didn't really feel overwhelmed when I was studying. I did take breaks. I think I gave myself like rewards for each like study break, like chocolate or something. I kind of try to make it more enjoyable
Mhm.
for myself, and then I could keep doing like longer study blocks.
Got you. So you did 25-minute studying, 5-minute break, and then you would
Break,
get back
yes.
to studying. Did you respect that? Did you respect that 5-minute break, or did you ever go over the time?
Oh, I think there was plenty of times where I went over, but I think I also was thinking I think I deserved it, but I try to stick to the 25. maybe I studied 52 minutes and I took a break for 20 minutes kind of thing.
Okay.
But even then, I probably didn't respect how much I was overwhelmed too. I probably, I was probably fixated on one problem and it just took me
Mm,
15 minutes. Like I didn't treat it, um, within that 25 minutes. I was just kind of stuck on it. I was very focused on it until I have to solve it. I can't, or I'm gonna be thinking about it the whole day kind of thing.
got
Yeah.
you. Okay. Okay. And did you feel like this method helped you, this technique?
Oh, I think that did help me in it did help me in other ways. It gave me a break to go walking, do like household
Mm,
chores. It was something I could incorporate without taking anything away from my household task. Um, so I think it did help me. Um, and yeah, it did help me quite a bit for those 3 months I did study for my second time.
for your second time. Okay.
Yes.
That was gonna be my next question. So how many times did you take the FE?
I did take it twice,
Okay.
fortunately. Yes.
When so can you walk us a little bit through the first time you took it? Was it also in 2024 when you the first time you took
Yeah, I took it super early in it's probably been a year, I think exact or slightly under a year when I took it the first time in 2024.
okay.
Um so I think I took it in maybe March of 2024. Um but yeah, it was maybe I didn't study the best. I studied for a very long time the first time. I think I went through your program twice, but I think that maybe uh made me more anxious because I was keep doing the same thing and I don't know.
Mhm.
I think the second time I felt really great going through the program.
Interesting. So the first time
Yeah.
you took it, you went through the course twice the first time?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And that made you more anxious,
I think I was more overwhelmed because
overwhelmed.
I tried to finish all these problems that I was asking Rim. I was like, "Do you think I can finish within this amount of time?" But she's like, "You should just go over it. You should just go over the ones that you don't know." But I think I went through the whole thing, and I think I might have double guess myself on a couple of
Mm,
things. So yeah, I think what I changed that up on the second time I studied for it. It was I just went through it once and I just reviewed the ones I didn't get the first time.
got you. Did you feel like you spend more time on it knowing that I only have to go through this once? You were able to spend more on it and then be able to grasp the concepts?
Yeah, I think getting the concepts is probably the most important thing because you can't
Yeah.
really move forward. I think the one thing that I enjoyed, I think it was the statics. I don't think I was very great at statics in college. And
Mm,
that was basically um, what I saw in my diagnostics the first time, it was the statics and the dynamics were a really big portion of what I got wrong. So I pretty
mm.
much focused on those. And walking through that report, it did help. I studied more for statics and dynamics, and I ended up passing the second time.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
especially statics is like the foundation for a lot
Hmm.
of subjects in FE Civil, like mechanics of materials,
Yes.
structures, right?
Structures.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like if you lack statics, you get to those subjects and you're like, oof, like you get stuck in
Yes.
because you're missing.
You're missing it, right?
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
enjoy the fast method of joints. I never like thought of it like that way. And it was almost like a game at that point. It
yeah,
was kind of
right?
fun. And I
Yeah,
didn't have to do all these reactions. I didn't have to
right?
waste paper.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah. It's
it
pretty
was
fun.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I learned that in college. One of my our professors taught us that method, and like you said, like at some, it becomes like a game. It's super fun to just do
Yes,
those
yeah,
stresses. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Um,
I wish I knew it in college though. It was
yeah,
just
right?
it's a little bit too late at
Yeah,
that point. But
yeah.
yes.
Um, were there any valuable lessons that you learned that helped you succeed on your second attempt?
I think what I did, I think I wasn't very in my 6 months the first time, I wasn't very stick to my schedule. I think that was one thing I did. I woke up every morning early. I worked out. I studied right after. I think I was more energized studying after working out.
Mm.
Um, but I think one thing was I think you can't really be motivated. It's more of like a schedule. Like if you can stick to the schedule, I think that kind of beat like my motivation because that can kind of wane. Um, but I think yeah, sticking to that, trying to have more balance in my life. I think I neglected a few things. I was probably
Yeah.
overwhelmed with maybe other aspects of my life um, the first time, and then I kind of found more balance with that in the second time. And I did have a time crunch on the second one, so I was probably more focused. I had a vacation coming up right before or right after my trip, so that was also, I guess that could be motivation in a way.
Oh, okay. So you took
Yeah.
the FE exam and then you went on a vacation?
Yeah, I plan to
Oh,
not look at the results prior to the test, but I think Rim was saying, "Oh, maybe you should look at it." And I was like, I don't want to ruin my trip if anything's bad, but it went well. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. It went well. And I enjoyed my trip probably regardless of the result, I would have enjoyed it because it was a very fun trip.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Yes.
I think, like you said, regardless the results, I think we should always celebrate our hard work. You did
Yeah.
study for it. Doesn't matter you failed or passed the FE. You put in
Hmm.
effort into it. And if you would have
Yeah.
failed, you would have probably just been like, okay, what can I do now? What can I change?
Yes.
And then keep improving till you get it. It really doesn't matter how many times you fail. It's
Yeah.
just about passing it.
Yeah. It was I remember watching one of your videos and it was like we enjoy the little wins and I
Yeah.
think I think on my first time I was studying for it seriously it wasn't like I just kind of went into it I almost felt like a chore at one point trying to
Mm.
study and that was probably the wrong way about it um I think we do have to enjoy the process because that's something that makes you keep going back. You want to wake up the next day and it's like, oh, I can do this, or fix a mistake that you probably didn't know until that next day. So you enjoy the little wins, and I think that did help too. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's really about like the journey and not just the destination, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like
Yes.
if you think about it, the destination you get there and you're like, oh, I passed. You get
Yeah.
excited for a little bit and then you forget about it. But the
Yes.
journey is what stays with you,
Yeah.
what you learn from it, and all that hard work. You look back and you're like, wow, like I actually did that. And from there, I want to talk
Yes.
about your schedule. So you would wake up really early and then
Yes.
work out.
Before five. Yes. I think before 5 o'clock, I used to work out for maybe like 30 minutes to an hour,
Okay. Work
and
out.
I
Okay.
would probably study for maybe an hour. Like I used to do that effect, the Pomodoro effect. Like you can make coffee within the 5 minutes too.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so it was very good. It started my day off on a good foot. And then for things that I didn't know, I tried to solve it during my lunch period, which is probably the best. I should have just decompressed at that point. But I tried to solve some problems during lunch too.
Yeah.
Um, and I treated my 5 to 9 kind of like another study period after work. So it was
Okay.
pretty good, off and on with the Pomodoro effect from 5 to 9 because I might be a little bit more tired after work.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about that. So because you waking up really early, that tells me that you're a morning person and you study
Mhm.
better in the morning than the evening. Would you
Yes,
agree? Okay.
correct.
So I'm like that, so I can totally
Yeah.
relate. How did you get yourself to study at night when you get f back from work?
Oh, that's a really good question. I try to I think I tried to meditate, I think right before my
Oh.
first studying. It was something that Rim brought up because I never really used to do it. I used to just feel pretty overwhelmed after work and then
Mm.
still having to study. I just felt like I needed like a reset before going into it. I And then when I even ate my dinner, it was something like I tried to stay in the moment for things. If I had family things, I tried to do that for an hour, but then I did let them know that I do have to, I do have to take it seriously. I have to set time aside. I have to make these blocks for studying. So for me to get in that mental space, it wasn't. I don't think it was as hard as I thought it would be, but I did stick to those study blocks, those times, um, and it did help tremendously.
Wow, okay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Um, that's great. Okay, so you study in the morning and in the afternoon.
Yes.
Mm. I love how you studied after workout. I think, like you said, I think we process information better and we just have
Mhm.
a better focus after working out. And I think I shared this before where they've done a study of a group of students
Yes.
in Harvard where
Yes.
they compared those who worked out and studied afterwards and those who didn't. And those who did work out did way better in
Hmm.
school. So something about working out. So you said you would work out between 30 minutes to an hour. This is really early morning. Did you go to the
Yes.
gym or did you just work out at
No,
home?
I worked that at home because I tried to study at home. I could either work at home, I could study at work too, but I didn't want to do that. I just kept everything uh, like my study area was my one place is at my desk in my room. So I knew that was just only for studying. I worked out in the living room. So
Hmm.
it wasn't something, it wasn't bad. It was
Yeah.
yeah, it was something that I got really I thought it was really enjoyable actually to work out and then go into studying because I felt way better about myself physically, and I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll go into it better mentally.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a little bit more the type of workout that you were doing. Do you have weights in your living room? Because like a lot of people, when I tell them go work out, they go, well, I have to commute and then I have to drive an hour to the gym, or
Yeah,
and I'm like, you could do so much just at home. Can you just tell
yeah.
us a little bit what your workout looks like?
I used to do like a lot of calisthenics. I used to do push-ups, squats.
Okay,
I have a roller, like a ab roller. I used to do that and jumping
okay.
jacks, jump rope. It was kind of just things to get your blood flowing.
Wow.
Nothing very major. I did have weights, but it wasn't. I think the program I followed was kind of long, so I kind of cut that down to like 30
Hmm.
minutes to an hour. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. That's great.
Yes.
Okay, let's see here. Let's talk a little bit about resources. So you got our courses. How did you hear about us?
I think I watched your YouTube videos. I think you even had was it called FE Bites, I think at one point.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a while back, and that's how I
Yeah.
kind of was thinking I should just get the program because I started watching a lot of the videos on YouTube. So that's how I pretty much got introduced to you.
Okay. And did you feel like our course helped you pass your FE exam? Yeah. Did it help? Did it help you?
Yeah, I think it did. It did help me. I think each video I watched, it kind of went into the next. It did build upon what you learned previously. So I think I don't know. For me, it was like the math. I was like I kind of forgot math already at one point. So that was helpful. The statics, yeah, it was. I think everything, the way it was structured, it did build upon, and I kind of thought that as I was going into the next subject, it was helpful. Everything I learned previously, and so I did probably feel more confident too, going into the next one, and it was more fun. I thought when I got to the water resources too, I was like, hey, this is stuff I do for my job. So that was something that I was very happy about too.
That's awesome. What
Yeah.
were some of your favorite things about our courses?
I like the quizzes actually. I when you think about it, the FE exam, it was you have to solve like each problem with under 3 minutes, and I
Mm,
kind of treated some of the problems like under those 3 minutes.
mm,
So I like the conceptual. Actually, that one kind of helped. That was interesting. That was like a lot of questions, and I didn't realize how much there could be on the FE exam. It was pretty similar, so it did help. I enjoyed the statics, course, and then I did enjoy like the geotech. The geotech I struggled in college. Like it was
mm.
probably my worst subject, and then I think the geotech um, for the Genie Prep was very helpful. It seems like so much. It seemed easier for me, following you in that.
That's awesome. That's great to hear that. Yeah, the conceptual practice exam is an interesting one because it's like the one that we have, the normal practice exam, it has a combination of both conceptual and questions, you solve questions.
Hmm.
But the one with just concepts, like if you just go through it, it can get like really tiring.
Yeah.
All concepts. But it's a
Yes.
lot of concepts, and this was actually Pranita's idea. She was like, "Hey, there are a lot of conceptual questions now. How about if we
Hmm.
just create 110 conceptual questions?"
Yeah.
I'm like, let's do it. Um,
Yeah.
and also, if you go through the solution, there's so much more that's explained in the solution as well.
Yes.
So you learn so much about a topic. So if you get a question on that, you're gonna get it on like you'll be able to answer
Yeah.
it on the FE.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was I think my first exam was a little bit different from my second one. It was I think the second one I probably had more conceptual, I would say,
Mm.
which was kind of interesting. It was I feel like for every one I had like for every four questions I had one conceptual, I would almost say.
Oh,
It was very interesting, the second one. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But the first one, you didn't notice that many conceptual questions.
I don't believe I did. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so weird because it's 1 year. It's like in the same year you took it,
Yes.
2024. And then also we've been hearing a lot of people saying it has a lot more conceptual questions, but one exam you
Yeah.
didn't have that many. So that really
Yeah.
tells you how much the FE exam changes. And this is why it's so important to just
Hmm.
know the concepts, know your engineering.
Hmm.
Because it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how much they'll change it. Engineering
Yeah.
doesn't change, right? That's why it's so important to study
Correct.
and know
Yeah.
your concepts and yeah, the
Yeah.
fundamentals. Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
there was mix and match questions I think too. It was
Yeah,
very like you have to like get four or whatever amount right and then to get the whole problem right. And I'm like, oh, that's
right.
very difficult too, right?
Yeah, yeah. Versus just
Mhm.
like, yeah. Did you use any other study material besides FE Accelerator?
I did use two other ones. The I used another program. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that one, but
Oh no, go ahead.
um
I mean, well,
yeah.
it's up to you, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
For me, like,
Um
I don't care for our channel.
For I'm just gonna say it was helpful for the to give me other resources. They did give
Okay.
me other like YouTube videos. I don't think the program was as helpful as yours, but I think the one YouTube video I series I enjoyed was by Mark. Was it Matson? It was he's a FE
Yeah.
Civil.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, he was very helpful. He always cracked jokes too during his videos. So that was also something I supplemented with your videos. And I think that those were very helpful. I did buy I think these other books that I think the green and purple book. I forget what the practice problem set that Rim suggested. So those are also very helpful.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. All right. Let's see here. How many months did you study for the FE exam?
Ooh, so the for my first one, I studied for 6 months. That one I probably studied way too long. I think the 4 months, 4.5 months is probably like a good like that's a good range. 3 months was
Right.
very cutting it because I did study um I probably crammed a lot the first time or the second
Mm,
time. I crammed a lot into nighttime, so my sleep wasn't the best. And I
yeah.
still had to work out and do
Yeah.
my morning one. But I think the 4.5 months I think would have been perfect for me. Just 3 months was maybe too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think usually because the afternoon is heavy. And I think you
Yes.
can do the morning in a month. And I feel like the afternoon you might need like a month and a half.
Half. Yeah.
And then I feel like it's nice to have another month of just reviewing and
Yes.
you
Yes.
looking at other resources. Like you were watching Mark Mattson's videos. He has a great channel.
Yes.
Uh, and just doing a lot of practice exams and just
Mhm.
getting, reinforcing those concepts. I think, yeah.
Yeah. And I think there was like I was watching other ways to study, and I think there was this study video I watched about cramming early, so that whatever you don't know, as you get closer to your test, it's almost like is it the Swiss cheese method? If like
Hmm.
whatever goes through those holes is things you don't know. So that was kind
Oh,
of helpful too. It was I think I think it was yeah, that was very interesting to me, and I think that did help to cover my bases.
got you. Could you tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about this method?
I think it was a you cram early, cram often. It was something I forget what the studying video was, but you kind of try to do as much of the subjects you needed for the test, and then whatever concepts or problems you didn't know, you kind of like put them aside, and then try to put them at the end of the subject, and then try to solve them after you kind of went through the whole course. So
Oh,
it's kind of something that you try to I think you try to get back to it after you learn all these other concepts that build on it. I thought it was very helpful. It was something that for your course, I went through it too. Whatever things I didn't know, I put them at the end of that, and I try
hmm.
to get back to it after learning more about it. You know.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I really like that though, because like a lot of times, like if you don't understand something and you stay stuck
Yeah.
on it, you start feeling
Hmm.
behind with your schedule. So you start stressing out. And the more you stress out, the more you don't understand it. And then, like you said, sometimes you just need to move on, build more foundation that's going to help
Yes.
you understand it. And
Yes.
sometimes maybe you just need a break from that subjects and then you just need to come back to it
Yes.
later. It's just, don't force it. It's just your brain is saying no,
Yeah.
listen to it and
Yes.
just move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we get fixated on things,
Yeah.
and that's probably what makes us more stressed. Like if we can't solve one problem, we might be thinking about it throughout the whole
Yeah.
day. And I don't think we have to do that. It's just too much stress for
Yeah.
one problem. And then I think you said it's like you can get there's like the conceptual could just be like the low hanging fruit, right? Like this is more of like a efficiency kind of exam too. So I
Yeah.
think I solved majority of my conceptuals first for my morning and afternoon, and I think it gave me more time to do the harder problems. So
Mm. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. All right, awesome. That's a great method. I really
yeah,
like that. And then also the other thing too can also give you the chance to go like, do I really want to learn this concept or can I just because you don't need to learn
yes,
everything to pass the FE.
correct,
Like you're not there to
yes,
ace it, you're just there to pass it. So there's
yes,
some things where you're like, you know what?
yeah,
I'm not gonna, fight for this one. I'll just let it go.
yes, yeah. I thought that too. I was like
Yeah.
the day before my exam, I was saying to myself, I was like, if I don't know it now, then it's just that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Um, I was hoping I would be like, yeah, I do know everything, but it wasn't true. I just had to pass the exam, and I did on the second time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Rommel, you mentioned earlier how the second time you took it, you tried to have more the work-life balance and while studying
Yes,
for the FE. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? How did you manage to maintain that work-life balance while preparing for the test?
I think uh for me, I really much I think the first time really was like focused heavy on it. I pretty much studied majority of the day, and then during work. I did set aside like when you said the study block video that I watched from you, I did study. I did put aside time for other things. I did at least put an hour or two or for things that are really I think was very important to me in my life. Because I knew I'd probably get too overwhelmed. I put like maybe an hour or two to spend with my nephews and have a dinner with friends or so. um for days I think I was like, oh, maybe I'm on track. It's like that was kind of my reward to keep it balanced. I think my workouts during the weekend too were very I think they were longer. I think I could have because I thought throughout the weekday it wasn't something I was like, am I doing enough working out? But I still need to
Mhm.
study. um it was very I think it was much better the second time. I did set aside life blocks, I guess, if that's
Yeah.
another way to say it. I also remember doing those study sessions with Alex in the morning, and that was something that kind of started my day on the Saturday, and I kind of rolled into studying, and I thought that was very helpful. Uh, just because I was like, I don't want to study this early on a Saturday, but I got it out of the way. It was
Yeah.
something that was great.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. That's great. I think the more I talk to students, the more they notice that. They go like, the first time around, I was just like, I'm just gonna study, and that's all they did.
Mhm.
And then the second time around, they're like, this is not working. I need to find that
Yes,
work-life balance. And I
yes,
think it's so important to do that. It helps you actually to process the information during that downtime, during the recharging, during the
yes,
time you're
yes,
spending it with your nephew. Your brain is
yeah,
working, is re processing what you learned, and it's so important to
yeah.
do that.
I think we're so wound up when it comes to studying, like we don't have that chance to decompress, and if that's the only thing you think about it, it's not. Yeah, you need your brain to kind of rest. It's kind of funny, but I think it works. It works.
Yeah. Um, okay, let's talk a little bit about your exam.
Mhm.
How did you feel going into the exam the second time around? Because you took it the
Okay.
first time.
Yes.
I want to know where you're at the second time.
I think the first time I was just very I was so anxious. I think my heartbeat was going so fast. It was thudding, and I drank coffee, and it was like even probably going even way faster. The second time I felt I think I felt very comfortable. I think I felt more calm. I think going into it. Um, I think the one thing that did help, I didn't study the day before. I kind of just let my
Mm.
brain decompress. Um, and that was very, very helpful the second time I took it. It did help me. I felt more in the moment. I got to spend time with my parents. I do have to fly to take the test, unfortunately.
Oh,
Um, so I did that too. Yeah.
wow. We gotta talk about that. So where you at, they don't have NCS test centers?
No, there's none. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, where are you at? Where do you
I'm in
live?
Maui. I live in
You're
Maui.
you're in Maui.
Yes.
Okay. And how long? So you had to, like, did you fly on the same day or did you spend the
I
night and
I flew, I think I flew the day or maybe 2 days before my test. I flew to Oahu. So it's only a 30-minute flight. And
okay.
yeah, I got to just go to the mall. I got to drive around the island. It was something very relaxing. It was pretty good. I never did that before. Like even in college, I was just cramming the day before in college, you know?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It was very nice. It was very nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
flew there, you spent a couple days there before the test. Uh,
Yes.
you relaxed, you got comfortable, and then you went and you
Yeah.
took the test.
Yeah. And
That's
then I felt
awesome.
pretty good. I felt pretty good coming out of the test because I feel like you kind of have that feeling if you like didn't do well or good after the test, and I felt pretty good. Like I flew out the same day. I flew out a few hours after my test too, and I was smiling on the plane. I was like, I thought I did it, and I was like, yes, I did it.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And then now how do you feel that you have your EIT?
I feel like it's just the next step. I think you said that I did celebrate. I guess I was in the week after I did celebrate. I was in Japan, so
Wow.
um, yeah, I got to celebrate there just for that day, and I felt like okay, now it's the next. That was just one milestone. And the next milestone is to get my PE. So it kind of did wane. I was very happy that week after, but now I feel like I have to start studying again. I have to get in this flow of doing my PE because I still have some knowledge from the FE. Um, and I feel like I wanna get my PE this year. That was the hope. That's my whole plan.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay. So
Yeah.
you can do you have enough experience or you can take the exam and then get the experience?
I did meet the work experience. I met it at
Wow.
2021 because I started in
Oh,
2017.
okay.
So I could have maybe if I took the courses earlier, I could have got it in 2021. But that's how life is.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't go the way you plan it sometimes, and
Yep.
that's just something I have to deal with. It's something that I'm like hoping that the year is still early in 2025, so I'm hoping to get the PE this
Yeah,
year.
that's awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
did you decide which PE exam to take?
Uh, no, I'm split between the two still, the water resources and the transportation. I don't know. The transportation one is something that I get interested looking at the more I look at it. So um if I had to choose, I would pick the transportation right now. But my job
Mm.
is in like wastewater. So it's
Oh,
something water resources does make more sense in a way.
interesting.
Yeah.
So what's why transportation? What interests you in transportation? Did you ever work in transportation?
No, it was I think I was watching these videos not just bikes on YouTube, and I was starting to get more interested in how the roads work and like the way their
Oh,
infrastructure is really set up in like Netherlands and stuff like that. And in Hawaii, it's like it's nothing like this. It's we're such a small island. It'd be more cool to see like I guess my plans. I could see them more tangibly, or because I just we just put sewer and force mains in the ground. And I can't really. I say I can do it, but I don't. It's there underground, but I can't see it. It's I don't
yeah.
know. It's I think that kind of the city planning is kind of interesting now to me because of those videos.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so you have like a new interest that you might
Mhm.
go down to. Um,
Yes.
yeah, that's awesome. And also looks like it could help your city and you can help, your
Yes.
city and grow and stuff since it's like it's just building the infrastructure and it's new
Yes.
that you could really help
Yeah.
your city. That's awesome and
Yeah.
your
And
community.
that's something that yeah, like I just live in a small town in Wailuku, so it's very like it's you have to use your cards. Like if you use bikes, you're like riding in the middle of the road. So it's like
Mhm.
I think it'd be cool if I could solve that issue. There's
Yeah.
more ways of getting to work and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because, like, a lot of times, like, when we become engineers, it's because we want to help solve problems,
Hmm.
help our society or our community. And, having
Yes.
PE license or being an engineer allows us to do that. And it looks like exactly what you want to do, which is
Yes.
really cool. Yeah. And,
Yes.
getting a PE in transportation can actually help you pivot in that career in that field
Yes.
if you want to go down there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's still a few things I do have to decide. It's
Yeah.
I it does interest me at this point, and
Yeah.
it could be an interest in the future. So I'm hoping I could I could talk to my supervisor and get more clarity on this.
That's awesome. All right.
Yes.
Romel, I have one more question. If a student comes
Hmm.
up to you and asks you to list three things that really helped you pass your FE exam, what would you say to them?
I think the first one is make a study schedule. I think that was very important and try to stick to it as much as you can. I know life can get, out of the way, um, or get in the way, and you do have to work with what you have. I think having that buffer too would be helpful.
Yeah.
To kind of just study that last maybe a week before the exam. That did help me. Unfortunately, I was sick the week before my exam, so like
Oh.
you should take care of your health, while studying too. Uh, I think another one was kind of set your study place. I think it was very important, like to not study where you eat, where you sleep. It's very important because you can get distracted so easily. I think distraction was probably my hardest thing to overcome during this study period, or even yeah, studying for the FE the whole time. Uh, yeah, so I kind of set that uh, in one place. And then the third one I think was having more balance. It was something that I was thinking, oh, the more I study, the less I have to study. But I'm like, I think the more I studied, the more I thought about it. I was probably more fixated on it,
Mm.
never really in the moment for family gatherings. Um, so I think that's something that we do have to account for.
I love that.
Yeah.
Rommel, thank you so much for joining me
All
today
right.
and sharing your story with us.
Yes.
I really enjoyed talking to you. You brought up a lot of great points, especially the work-life balance. I think people don't realize how important that is for their health, for their mental
Hmm.
health, and for even for studying and learning better. And so I
Yeah.
love everything. Your schedule, the workout beforehand, the how you were anxious to study for it in 2021, but then in 2024
Yeah.
you got serious about it and look
Yeah.
where you're at, which is amazing. You accomplished it, you did it, you
Yeah.
passed your FE exam, and now your goal is to get the P in 2025. And I have no doubt
Yes.
you're gonna do that. So
All right.
congratulations. Thank you so
Yeah.
much
Thank
for
you,
being
Kenza.
here and for sharing your story with us.
Yeah. Thank you. It was like a big cloud that was hovering over my head, I guess, those 2 years. So,
Yeah.
I took a break, but then I took it seriously. And I think that was is very important too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it when you're ready.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kenza.
Thank you.